Hello there, this is Warpath 1985 speaking, and for today's journal discussion, I shall be discussing for the New Year's special, because most really like one, unfortunately, because I don't have anything else to really do for New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, just one New Year's special. So, I shall be doing something I haven't done before, that being a top 10 video. And this will mainly be just top 10 things that I got this year. Nothing that is really about top 10 things that came out this year, just things that I got this year. Because if you don't know, this year was probably the largest year of me getting just stuff. Stuff in general. Stuff that I always wanted to get but wasn't able to get previously due to various reasons, or it just was practically unattainable. So thankfully, this year was pretty much the year of me just being able to get all that stuff in general. And obviously the largest like collection accumulation technically of just stuff in general was obviously Transformers. Because keep in mind, although yes, last year was a pretty good year for me getting just Transformers stuff, it also wasn't that much in comparison. And also, I have to admit, last year was also a year of me just getting all sorts of Master Universe stuff to try and fill out the Eternity playset, because I want to get Master Universe stuff to fill out that thing, and I even out of time, so I had a bunch of stuff already. It still wasn't enough to fill it out. So yeah, I was pretty much getting all sorts of figures to just not only fill out my collection, but fill out certain things that are missing in my collection, and certain things I just wasn't able to get. So yeah, that was pretty much it for Transformers, in my perspective. But for G.I. Joe, however, very similar thing, however, just vintage oriented. I just wanted to get a bunch more vintage stuff this year. Even though yes, last year was a pretty good year because I was able to get my holy grail of the G.I. Joe Cobra Mamba. This year was just me trying to get all the various figures and trying to get all of them, trying to deal with them, trying to just generally collect every single G.I. Joe thing that I wanted to get, and now I have them all. Obviously, that being the Dreadnoks. I finally had the original 3 Dreadnoks, and I also like have the 2 main versions of like Lifeline, the melee version, like the standard version, the Frag Viper, the Saw Viper. Like I got like a bunch of it just of this year, and it was super cool. But yeah, also these bunch of figures for all missions, etc. For just Master Universe in general, also pretty good. I didn't get as many Master Universe stuff as last year in comparison, maybe just because I want to slow down a little bit. But the stuff I did get this year were really good. Were really, really good. I got like a bunch more Snake Man. I was able to do finally finish off the main like Snake Man group, the original group you see in like the original line, both like in like the She-Ra series and also the Chills X series. So yeah, it was cool. I was able to finish it off, but also to get like all these other Master Universe figures, and probably my favorite version of Hordak they released so far, that being Hurricane Hordak. I was very, very hesitant getting that thing, but when I got it, just for like a free shipping thing on like integrations, I was so surprised at that figure. I was like, wow, this thing's actually really good. And it's probably, well, in my opinion, my favorite Hordak they released so far. And now makes me realize or understand why the people from who collect the vintage figures say the same thing. Because wow, that thing is just, it's a really good figure. It is really good, and it's a really good figure in general. But for cars, unfortunately, this year was pretty disappointing because although yes, don't discuss cars on the channel, I just want to mention it here because it is a thing that I collect a lot, and it's a very large collection, mind you. This year was the year where I realized I'm at that stage where I am essentially, I got practically everything they're reissuing and releasing, and all the things you can find in the store I have now, which is insane that I'm at that stage of my Uh, Cars Slip to Life now, where I'm at that, well, before stage where I can literally just go to the store, quite literally go to the cars aisle, and literally look around and be like, wow, I have all these things and I have nothing to really get except for that one car and that one multi-pack, and I won't ever because everything else I have in that thing. For Gunpla, I actually got a couple more Gunpla here and there. Mainly most of the Gunpla I got this year were mainly oriented around things that were in particular mostly situated around just holy grails of mine, or just Gunpla that I really want to get, like the Zocomerita or the Zoc, mainly on the more the side of the holy grail, just want to get um, overall, or like just Gunpla like the Equus Jaken or the Star Jaken, just Gunpla I decided to get, and just really like in general, or generally just want to get in anyways because I really like the Equus Jaken. However, for other stuff, just kind of miscellaneous stuff, like Lego, and also, like this is now, the Star Wars Division Collection. Wow, what a disappointment fest these two were. I've been wanting to really collect like all these new Lego Star Wars stuff, but even though yes, just speaking, talk about just Lego in general, God, it is ridiculous. Because I've been wanting to collect more Lego Star Wars stuff, because recently I've been collecting a lot of Lego Minecraft stuff. Which might it's still a good line, But Lego Star Wars in general has been rough collecting recently because Lego's been price gouging primarily the Clone Wars audience to an obscene level. And people might say or argue that it's just a Terra thing. Lego is not as dramatically affected by terrorists, for instance, like some other companies like Mattel and technically Hasbro. Because keep in mind, Hasbro has a monopoly on the boys' toy market, the action figure market as a whole, and obviously, can practically do whatever the hell they want and say whatever the hell they want, and are at this point where people can be like, yeah, that makes total sense. In my personal opinion, I think it makes zero sense. Which is why I didn't get absolutely barely anything when it comes to vintage collection stuff. Vintage collection stuff this year was just collecting any vintage collection stuff I did this year was rough. I wasn't able to find most vintage collection stuff this year that was affordable. Like the Tide Advance. I wanted to get the Tide Advance. I wanted to get like all these new Star Wars vehicles. Stupid expensive. Very stupid expensive. And not to mention, the figures being like sold now for $20 a piece. Deranged. Insane, mind you. So yeah, I was just not very much a good camper. I was not a very happy camper this year when it comes to Star Wars stuff. And that kind of bums me out because I love Star Wars. And even though yes, there will be Star Wars stuff in the top 10 list, I just was pretty bummed out this whole year about that. Besides that, so for number 10, for my top 10 list, it will actually go to the cars. They were Springs 5-pack that included Saludos Amigos Ramon. And this is, if you don't know, my favorite version of Ramon they ever released. And they've made, mind you. And it was super cool. I was able to get it. And it's super cool that it was released in a very decently priced 5-pack that was readily available. And I was able to finally get it after, God, I don't know how many years of me trying to like get this thing ever since it released back in 2018, which made like actually no, sorry, let me see, 6 years. 6 years of me trying to get this thing, and I finally have it in my collection, which is super cool, mind you. But for number 9, that will go to the Star Wars Vintage Collection, the Coruscant Guard Shock Trooper, the Bad Batch 1, which fun fact, is my first general exposure to the new Clone Trooper mold. Because keep in mind, the Andor Clone Trooper mold, any figures from that mold, all their distribution, completely and utterly insane. I was only able to find like Captain Rex at a GameStop before GameStop, my local GameStop, mind you, closed down. Which probably I should have came back to like get it when it was on sale, but still. um, but yeah, I just never found most of the clone troopers at retail, and all the ones I was able to get, that being the first clone trooper in this Corsa Guard clone trooper, were mainly because it got them on sale for like $10 each. Actually, no, I think I got the first clone trooper out of $12 each. I think $12 off. Sorry, $12 I got it for a figure, but Star Trek got for just $10 off, which was $10. Sorry, I had to like reorder that, but still, I got those figures, pretty good figures. I'm just disappointed about the pricing, which is why they're so low on the list. For number 8, however, is more or less because the difficulty in me getting it was the G.I. Cobra Ice Saber. And the Cobra Ice Saber in general falls in the same general just fragility as like things certain to be considered to be like conservative cold plastic syndrome. Because keep in mind, although yes, the Cobra Ice Saber doesn't have that as bad of a plastic quality comparison to like cold plastic, where it'll disintegrate over time. The blue plastic that is on the general most of the weapons, etc., the movable parts on the Cobra Ice Saber are still very fragile. And for that reason, that's why this thing kind of ranks a lot lower on the list, because the fragility. However, it was still cool that I was able to finally get this Arctic vehicle I've been trying to hunt down for a while now. And also to get in a pretty good condition, even though yes, there's like a broken clip on the axle that connects to the skis. The rest of the parts that were broken, mind you, I was able to fix. And yeah, super cool. I finally own this really nice looking Cobra Arctic vehicle in my collection. But for number 7, that will actually go to Master Universe Origins Necroconda. And the reason why I ranked this figure at number 7, mainly just because the next figure, there's that figure, but still. Next up is a lot more sentimental value to me. Necroconda primarily is on this list over all the other previous Master Universe figures, primarily just because I think this is, in my personal opinion, mind you, the best Master Universe arm builder they have released in Origins line so far. And that's mainly just because the fact that the thing looks so cool. The rule of cool of this single figure is obscene. Like, it has iridescent plastic, it has glow in the dark plastic, it has glow in the dark paint. It looks really cool on itself. It also has soft goods like cloak, but still, really good figure. But for number 6, it's gonna be a model kit, mind you, but that will actually go to the Draisen, which, similar to like the Ramon, it was mainly just because of ranking it here because, or even put on the list, mainly because my sentimental value towards it is ridiculous. Because if you don't know, I've been wanting to get this model kit for ages now, and the Draisen is like my personal favorite Neo Zeon Pacific like mobile suits. And obviously I wanted to get it because of that, and it was unfortunate that the thing was on aftermarket, being sold for insane prices like $100 or $200 sealed, etc. So when it did get released on Amazon, after like, God, I don't know how many like Gunpla sites like USA Gun started selling it for like what, $27, but had it for like $11 shipping. Ridiculous, mind you. And Amazon was like $30 free shipping, so I got it on the official Bandai store there, and I built it. And gosh darn it, it is really good. It's a really good kit. But for number 5, it's going to be the Corsa Guard gunship. A very flawed Lego set, mind you, but my personal opinion, definitely one of those Lego sets I feel like does get overhated, mainly just because it just didn't live up to the legendary status that was the 2013 gunship, the Republic gunship. Which is understandable, mind you. The thing was a huge Lego set. It was a huge Lego set, had all these Lego minifigures, etc. But my personal opinion, I think that the Coruscant Guard gunship is better in the sense that it is technically more size accurate. Technically, the gunship itself, its scale and media is very inconsistent. Not to mention, the gunship in most Star Wars vehicles and Lego scale has also been inconsistent. Because keep in mind, the gunship falls into the same problem as like the TIE fighters, where they've been inconsistently like scaled. But still, in my personal opinion, I just love it. Mainly just for the fact that it's the Coruscant Guard. Coruscant Guard, my favorite clone troopers, and that's why it's ranked at number 5. However, for number 4, that will go to Age of the Primes Megatronus, or also the Fallen. And the reason why I ranked it at number 4 and not number 1, however, is because that I love this figure so much, and visually in world mode, it looks perfect, spot on to my personal favorite interpretation of Megatronus. That would be like the Fallen from like the Dreamwave comic books. That's my favorite design Megatronus they ever had, or ever did really. But my problem with it is that it has all the accessories, all the different weapons from all the different Megatronuses, Megatronusi, from like across the whole series. My problem with it is that I despise the tank mode so very much that it just made me just kind of just move this from 3 to 4 because of that. Because I do not like the tank mode. I hear a lot of people saying the tank mode's alright. I hear a lot of people saying the tank mode is probably the best tank mode ever. Yes, some people did say this thing is the best tank mode ever really made. In my personal opinion, it sucked. It is a floppy mess. It's a very gappy mess, and I don't think the weapon storage even like works at all. So yeah, that's why it's at number 4. Mainly just because I feel like this figure just falls short on many things. But for number 3, it's very confusing, but I can explain it also. For some reason, for like Megatronus, Legacy Evolution Bludgeon. Legacy Evolution Bludgeon at number 3, mainly just because, in my personal opinion, also, this is probably the best bludgeon that Hasbro has ever made, simply by the fact is the only one that isn't prone to die horribly. Because my favorite, and probably everybody's favorite bludgeon that Hasbro has ever made, is still the Hunter Decepticons version. Is one that I still want so badly, and is one that I've handled multiple times at conventions, at various lots, and etc. I'm being like, oh, you know what, I want to get it. And then I keep reminding myself the thing is going to explode violently, and then one day, if you have it on display, it's going to fall apart. Like, oh, it hurts me so much because Bludgeon is like one of my personal favorite, like, random Decepticon leaders from the comic books that gets like barely any love, and when he does, he's usually like a very brooding, menacing like thug, like in Cyberverse. Which I'm glad he was in Cyberverse in the first place, but still, it's kind of like a thug and anything. But still, I was like happy to finally own this figure after like forever trying to get it for like a good price on eBay. So like found like what $30 on eBay for the figure, became like $32 I think, I can't remember like exact price, but I paid for it pretty cheap overall on eBay. But yeah, I was very thankful to finally own Legacy Evolution Bludgeon finally after all that time of me trying to get it. But yeah, that's the reason why it's at number 3, entire of the Megatron. Symbiote Fighter is the only bludgeon that won't break on you. Because all the the other Legends class bludgeons exist also, but those things are too small. So yeah, those don't technically count in my opinion. Because I want like a good like size bludgeon by collection. So for number 2, that'll go to Siege of Mega Supreme. If you saw my Siege of Mega Supreme review, which probably most people hadn't, apparently, I guess telling for like analytics for that video, but still, I should go check it out because I assume most of that review. But generally, Siege of Mega Supreme is a great figure because he has such a great shelf presence, similar to like the Necrocona figures mentioned beforehand. That the figure just looks so cool. The figure just poses so well. The figure is generally awesome. Probably the greatest figure that Siege ever really brought to the table. It is super cool that I finally own it now after like ages of me trying to get it, and it finally be reissued and it being purchased as a gift from my uncle is still the coolest thing ever. However, for number one, though controversial, but that'll go to Unite Warriors Devastator. Simply by the fact, I'll explain it also before I end the video, because saying that the video is like going over the time I originally planned it to be, but whatever. Unite Warriors Devastator, the reason why it's ranked at number one, mainly just because for the same sentimental value I have for previously mentioned figures, partially because by the fact that recently I've been trying to look for a Devastator that particularly fit well and scaled well with my Siege of Mega Supreme. Because as mentioned beforehand, the previous reviews, both the Siege of Mega Supreme and the Devastator review, Devastator and Mega Supreme kind of supposed to scale in this weird dichotomies as whatever, where Devastator is slightly shorter than Mega Supreme and Mega Supreme is slightly taller than Devastator. And obviously the recently released 86 Devastator being like not only a huge disappointment slash for all the various other obvious reasons like articulation wise, etc. In my personal opinion, I was made disappointed by the fact that it being too small and would be scale well with the recently reissued Siege of X Supreme. Which is why after I learned about the fact that things would be like the same size as Siege Jetfire, or basically half the height of Siege of Mega Supreme, I made it my mission to hunt down, and eventually I got Unite War Service for $193. And because of this, after 10 years of trying to get a Devastator ever since Treacherous Devastation, which is the reason why I love the extra concept Devastator so much, was because of Treacherous Devastation. It's ranked at number one because of that. I don't have really else really good explanation beyond that. It's just the sentimental value I have for Devastator because of that game, and because of that, and because of all a bunch of other stuff, and me wanting to have a Devastator that's perfect for my shelf, and it's been a Devastator I wanted to get for ages, mind you. Meant that it's number one on the list. Oh yes, it is kind of controversial take. My personal opinion, it works as a number one pick for me. Because again, it's my list, my personal opinion, whatever. But yeah, it's just I always want to get it. I finally was able to get it, and I have to admit, I absolutely love the thing. I absolutely love the set. Absolutely love the figure, etc. And yeah, that's all for this top 10. Probably like a pretty ambitious first top 10. Probably a very ambitious video overall. I guess before I end the review, hopefully I'll be fixing my schedule in journal, because my ad, I've been trying to like fix my journal review schedule, upload schedule, etc. for a while now. So hopefully for 2026 as like a New Year's resolution, I don't know, I'll finally be able to fix this accursed schedule, because my schedule's been all over the place this year due to college, etc. Which is going to be worse eventually, unfortunately, also. So hopefully next year will be a lot better than this year. But yeah, that's all for this journal discussion. Like, comment, subscribe, and Happy New Year's, and hopefully I shall see you for 2026. Bye.